Welcome back to our video series on the 8 facets of a truly wealthy lifestyle. Today we delve into the second facet, understanding and nurturing our physical, mental, and emotional health. These are 3 big topics to cover in one video, but they are also incredibly interrelated and super important. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on all these aspects of a quality lifestyle, but I have made a serious study of these things throughout my own life, for my own health, as well as for the health and well-being of my family of 7 children and now 30 grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I've gained some perspective over 70 years that I hope will be a blessing to you. Today, we'll discuss how focusing on improving these qualities of our lives can have such a profound and significant positive impact on the overall quality of our lives. Focusing on these important aspects of our lives can not only increase our personal lifespan, but can also significantly increase our health span, which means that we can be more healthy, vital, active, and happy throughout the remainder of our lives. Let me share with you some shocking statistics relating to the pervasive poor health in America. You may be personally experiencing one or more of these conditions and can attest to how these conditions negatively affect your sense of well-being, regardless of how much money you might have. As I review these tragic statistics, notice how almost all of these conditions are self-inflicted and are completely under our control, in spite of the fact that some are influenced by our genetics. First of all, over 42% of U.S. adults are obese, caused by sedentary lifestyles, poor diet, genetics, metabolic factors, certain medications, and socioeconomic factors. Second, diet-related illnesses are linked to nearly 700,000 early deaths in the U.S. every year, linked to high consumption of processed foods, sugary drinks, and often daily consumption of red meats and a very low intake of fruits, vegetables, fiber, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Over 100 million Americans have diabetes or prediabetes caused by genetics, physical inactivity, poor diet, or insulin resistance. Remember, heart disease is the leading cause of early death in the U.S., with around 697,000 deaths per year caused by high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, obesity, diabetes, poor diet, and physical inactivity. Only 23% of U.S. adults meet the federal guidelines for aerobic and muscle strengthening activities. Remember that the most common first symptom of a heart attack is death. It's now estimated that 50% of women and 33% of men will develop cancer in their lifetime. Over 19% of U.S. adults experience mental illness caused by genetics, brain chemistry, trauma, abuse, drug use, or a combination of these. In fact, over 61 million Americans aged 12 or older battle substance use disorder. And incredibly, cigarette smoking and vaping is still responsible for more than 480,000 early deaths per year in the United States, including 41,000 from secondhand smoke exposure. In fact, chronic lower respiratory disease, CLRD, is the 4th leading cause of death in the U.S. This is caused by smoking, secondhand smoke exposure, occupational chemicals and dust, air pollution, and genetics. According to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, 50 to 70 million Americans have chronic or ongoing sleep disorders. And let's not forget the incredibly destructive effects of alcohol. Alcohol consumption causes both acute and chronic effects on individuals and a huge destructive impact on families and society as a whole. As you can tell, I am not a fan of booze. Let me share a few of the compelling statistics that support my strong opinion on this. Alcohol use is responsible for more than 95,000 deaths in the U.S. each year, or 261 deaths per day. These deaths shorten the lives of those who die by an average of almost 29 years. The destructive economic costs of alcohol consumption in the U.S. are over $249 billion each year. Alcohol is a contributing factor in a significant percentage of car crashes. In fact, in 2021, over 13,000 people died in alcohol-impaired driving crashes, accounting for 28% of all traffic-related deaths in the U.S. And this was a 14% increase over the previous year. Alcohol use leads to the development of chronic diseases, including cirrhosis, pancreatitis, cancer, and heart conditions. Alcohol misuse and addiction leads to a range of tragic mental health problems. It increases the risk of depression, anxiety, and exacerbates the symptoms of these disorders. Drinking alcohol during pregnancy increases the risk of miscarriage, stillbirth, and fetal alcohol syndrome disorders. Alcohol plays a huge role in violent crimes, including murder, sexual assault, domestic violence, and child abuse. According to the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, alcohol is a factor in 40% of all violent crimes. According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, over 14 million adults aged 18 and older had alcohol use disorder. This includes 8.9 million men and 5.2 million women. Think about this, over 40% of all hospital beds in the U.S. are used to treat conditions related to alcohol consumption. As I look at these statistics, I am shocked that anyone would ever even consider a single drink of alcohol, ever. Remember, while these statistics provide just a glimpse into the scope of the issue, they only capture a fraction of the broader personal, societal, and health-related implications of alcohol use. Unfortunately, individuals in our society seem to feel like these things won't happen to them when they consume alcohol, but these effects are undeniable and real and devastating. While some of these health conditions are caused genetically due to no fault of our own, almost all these conditions that lead to poor quality of life and early death can be mitigated by our personal choices to improve them. So let's talk about exactly how we can do that. Every single structure, from the tallest skyscraper to the most modest home, depends on a solid foundation. Our bodies are no different. The foods we consume, the amount of water we drink, our physical activity form the foundation of our physical health. Regular exercise not only keeps the body in shape, but also releases endorphins, our natural feel-good hormones. This is not just about looking good, it's about feeling good long-term. Our bodies are the vehicles that carry us through life. Feed it premium fuel, whole foods, less processed junk, and plenty of water to ensure it runs smoothly for as long as possible. Let's talk about cultivating our mental health now. In today's fast-paced world, taking moments to sit in stillness can seem impossible. Yet, practicing mindfulness, prayer, and meditation strengthens our mind, improving concentration and fostering our inner peace. What we say to ourselves influences our self-worth and self-confidence. Make it a habit to uplift yourself with kind, positive affirmations every single day. It's also essential to establish boundaries for our mental well-being. This means understanding what we can control, accepting what we can't, and focusing on our own personal journey. I think we also need to address the almost certain cognitive decline and impairment that almost all of us will experience as we grow older. The trick is to delay or even avoid the onset of this debilitating condition as long as possible. With over a third of Americans over 85 or older having Alzheimer's disease or dementia, this should be one of our highest priorities. We should do whatever we can to age well. Some of the most common mental health challenges relate to mood, anxiety, eating, depression, and other problems such as childhood trauma, schizophrenia, and psychic disorders. Most, if not all of these, require significant professional help. Our emotional health is also crucial to our overall well-being. Emotions are not our enemy. They're signals. By recognizing and understanding our emotions, we can better navigate life's highs and lows. Emotional health enables us to maintain healthy, mutually constructive relationships and connections with other people. It means having a sense of purpose in our lives. Bottling up our feelings can lead to stress, anxiety, and even physical health issues. We need to find safe and healthy outlets to express ourselves. It could be through talking, writing, or creative outlets. Life will always have its ups and downs. Building emotional resilience doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing feelings. It means equipping ourselves with the tools to cope and find meaning in our challenges. Healthy emotions means being able to regulate our emotions in constructive ways. Experiencing emotional health enables us to experience fulfillment and satisfaction in our lives. It means demonstrating emotional intelligence. One of the most helpful ways to foster this in our lives is to focus on being present in all our interactions and relationships. We need to be patient with ourselves and learn to create a positive self-talk pattern in our lives. I think it also helps to solicit honest feedback in our relationships. Ask our spouse, our friends, or even our children how we make them feel. Focus our attention on the needs and feelings of others and acknowledge how our emotional needs need to be met as well. This takes effort, time, and attention, but the rewards of this effort can be incredibly rewarding. So what are some of the things that can help us to regain control over our physical, mental, and emotional health? First of all, let's talk about the standard American diet. This is often referred to by the acronym SAD, I wonder why. This diet is characterized by a particular set of eating habits, prevalent if not pervasive in the United States. A large portion of the standard American diet consists of prepackaged and highly processed foods that often contain preservatives, artificial flavors, and other additives. These foods almost always come in a box. It's extremely high in sugars, including sugary drinks, sweets, and desserts are consumed in large quantities. Many processed foods also contain sugars, including either high fructose corn syrup or even artificial sweeteners like aspartame and other scary chemicals. This diet is high in red and processed meats. The consumption of red and processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, and sausages is much higher compared to many other diets. It's not surprising that this diet is high in refined grains. This includes foods made with white flour, such as white bread, many types of pasta, and cereals. Highly refined and processed grains undergo processing that removes the bran and germ, leaving only the endosperm, and reducing the grain to a fine powder that results in a loss of dietary fiber, iron, and many B vitamins, and causes an incredibly rapid spike in our blood sugar levels, which is incredibly hard on our bodies. Refined grains result in extreme nutrient loss, high glycemic index, weight gain, reduced satiety, compromised gut health, chronic disease, to digestive issues and inflammation. Of course, it's low in fruits and vegetables. The intake of whole fruits and vegetables is often limited or even non-existent. It's high in saturated and trans fats. These come from fried foods, many meats, dairy products, and many processed foods. It's really low in fiber due to the limited intake of whole grains, beans, fruits, and vegetables. These highly processed foods, many restaurant dishes, and fast foods often contains extremely high levels of salt as well. Let's talk about why the standard American diet will kill you. With the high intake of processed foods and a limited intake of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, the diet often lacks essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber. The high caloric content, combined with sugars, fats, and extreme portion sizes, has been linked to the rising rates of obesity in the United States. This common diet causes numerous health problems, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and high blood pressure. The low fiber content of this diet leads to significant digestive problems like constipation, weight gain, poor gut health, and reduced immune function. Fruits that are high in sugars, saturated fats, and trans fats can promote raging inflammation, a root cause of chronic illnesses and disease. The high sugar and refined carb content of this common diet can cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar, which can eventually contribute to insulin resistance, which leads to type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, arterial sclerosis, and cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, polycystic ovary syndrome, cancer, sleep disturbances, kidney damage, skin problems, and even impaired brain function. And finally, the limited fiber and high sugar content associated with this diet devastates your gut microbiota. The name Standard American Diet is somewhat ironic because while it has become standard or common, it is obviously not necessarily optimal for our health. The shift toward this diet pattern has been influenced by various factors, including strong marketing by the food industry, convenience, taste preferences, laziness, and societal norms. Many nutritionists and health experts advocate a much more balanced diet, emphasizing whole plant-based foods, lean proteins, whole grains, beans, and a diverse array of fruits and vegetables every day. Some of you may be familiar with the Blue Zone research conducted by National Geographic fellow and author Dan Buettner that found that people living in these 5 Blue Zone locations have notably longer lifespans and experience lower rates of chronic diseases, leading to a higher number of centenarians, or people who live to be 100 or older. These include areas like Icaria, Greece, Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, and Loma Linda, California. While lifestyle and community connections play a significant role in the longevity of these populations, diet is also a critical factor. The Blue Zone's diet is a term that encapsulates the dietary patterns observed in these regions. Although there are regional differences in the specifics of the diet, there are common principles. Most of this diet consists of plant-based foods, including vegetables, fruits, beans, lentils, chickpeas, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Meat, especially red meat, is eaten sparingly. In fact, in most Blue Zones, it's consumed on an average of only a few times per month, and then only in small quantities or portions. Olive oil is the primary fat source, especially in the Mediterranean regions. Other healthy fats, such as those from nuts, seeds, and avocados, are also common in these areas. With the exception of some areas like Sardinia, where sheep's cheese is common, most blue zones have a low intake of dairy products. Eggs are consumed occasionally. In some of the blue zones, especially those close to the water, like Okinawa and Icaria, fish is also consumed regularly, but not necessarily daily. Processed sugars are rarely consumed, and when sweeteners are used, they're usually natural, like honey. Highly processed, artificial, and packaged foods are limited or even avoided completely in these areas. Foods are consumed in their most original and natural states. Water is the primary beverage. Beans, including fava, black, soy, and lentils, are the cornerstone of most centenarian diets. They're consumed daily in the blue zones. Consider following the principle of Harry Hachibu, which means to eat until you're 80% full. This practice promotes mindful eating and helps prevent overconsumption. It's important to note that while diet plays a significant role in the health and longevity of blue zone populations, other factors such as strenuous physical activity, strong community connections, and family ties, stress management, and a sense of purpose also contribute significantly to their long and healthy lives. So in addition to consuming a diet like the blue zones diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, it's also essential to monitor and minimize the intake of sugars, salts, and unhealthy fats, and to include the following in your healthy lifestyle. Get a combination of aerobic strength training and flexibility exercises at least 2 to 3 times a week. Ensure that you get 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep every single night. Drink 75 ounces of water for women and 100 ounces for men every day. Maintain healthy weight, which means a BMI of between 19 and 24. I encourage you to find your weight and height on this BMI chart to see where you are relative to where you should be on this one. Get regular medical screenings and checkups to catch potential issues early. Abstain from tobacco, alcohol, caffeine, and illicit drugs. Schedule regular time for meditation, prayer, deep breathing, and relaxation exercises to manage and reduce your stress. Wherever possible, it's probably also a really good idea to remove yourself or at least minimize your contact with stressful people as well. Remember, regular hand washing, dental care, and personal cleanliness to prevent diseases and minimize infections in your life. Wherever you can, minimize or eliminate your exposure to environmental toxins. Maintain a positive outlook and attitude. Engage in social activities and maintain strong interpersonal relationships with others. We'll talk more about this in the next episode in this video series. Reduce prolonged periods of inactivity and take breaks to stand up and move around and exert yourself often throughout the day. Ensure that you get enough sunlight for vitamin D production, and while also protecting yourself from sun safety. Supplement your diet with vitamins, minerals as needed to ensure that your body gets the nutrients that it needs and deserves. Stay informed about your health conditions, medications, and information that may affect your health. Pay attention to signals and symptoms your body presents and seek medical attention when something feels off. It's clear that our physical, mental, and emotional well-being is interlinked. By nurturing all three, we're not only ensuring a longer life, but also a richer and more fulfilling one. Investing in your health is the best commitment you can make to yourself, ensuring you're in the best shape to pursue all facets of your wealthy lifestyle for as long as you possibly can. I hope you'll join us in our next video, where we'll explore the significance of maintaining loving and nurturing relationships. Remember, true wealth isn't just about financial riches. It's about enriching our lives in every dimension. Thanks again for joining us in this important journey to improve the quality of our lives. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.
We have a small favor to ask of you. Our goal is to grow our channel to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. So if you have ever enjoyed our videos and if you like our channel, can you do us a quick favor and hit the subscribe button? It helps this channel more than you know, and the bigger the channel gets, the more of this quality content you'll get. Thank you, and we're grateful that you are part of our family.